Well, you know that so many times I've talked about William and King Charles, and I've said that their body language is great, their interactions are great. I don't think there's any kind of wedge or rift between them. But every once in a while, there comes some kind of signals that are not body language, are not direct interactions, but I think we should get to the bottom of this. You might already know that William and Catherine are moving to a new house. That is great. They're forever home. That they are well, they are fixing a couple of things here and there. You know, it's gonna be a bit difficult still. But then we have two different headlines, and I'm going to talk about these headlines that are important for reasons that you're about to find out. The first one, the first headline says, this both of them are from the Daily Mail, by the way, Daily Fail as I call it. But bear with me because this seems relevant. The first one is King Charles buys house next door to Camilla's Wiltshire butthole for 3 million. I said butthole. No, butthole. Oh my God, I'm gonna get into trouble. For 3 million pounds to stop it being turned into a rowdy wedding venue. All right, so okay. But then when they're going to report about William and Catherine moving, it says forever home fallout. Two families vacate cottage next to 8-bed Windsor mansion with a tennis court and ballroom to make way for the Waleses. And well, I noticed that Canel Labelle, Canel Citadel, remember to follow Canel. She has great essays. She wrote a very interesting essay, and I usually read the first part of her essays and invite you to follow her. I still invite you to follow her on X. Amazing account, great insights. But this time I asked her permission to read the entire essay, and she was okay with this because, well, I really needed to know your opinion about this because this has happened more than once. I hadn't noticed it. I need to be completely honest with you. I had not noticed it. You know that I'm juggling a couple topics right now. But let's read it, so let's say what you think about this. Canel. When the sources leaked the move story, they hoped that William and Catherine would get backlash, but instead the public has been very supportive. And at least on my end, you know that in our bubble of fans of William and Catherine, we have seen that there have been no backlash. We all support them doing the best for their children, right? Thus, the quote-unquote sources have decided to stir things with another insidious angle in the Daily Fail. Pay attention, my dears. I will point out to you how visible the invisible contract is once again on fire. The story in the first picture, the picture of Camilla, was published in March 2025. Pay close attention to how the Daily Mail framed the story. The king has averted a security crisis by buying a $3 million house next to his wife's country retreat amid fears it could become a rowdy wedding venue. A very reasonable and positive slant. The article reads, for 30 years, Raymill, the Wiltshire butthole Camilla refused to part with after marrying Charles, has been her cherished sanctuary away from the public glare. But a royal source has revealed that a proposal to sell the old mill next door and turn it into a wedding venue has caused her great anxiety. Last month, with concerns growing over the potential risk to Camilla's safety, the king intervened at the 11th hour to block the sale and buy the old mill with private funds. But so far, so good, right? No big deal right here. A friend of Camilla's told the Mail on Sunday there was an imperative to act for Camilla's protection and privacy. All right? It's a fair play, I guess. Do you see how King Charles blocking the owner from selling his own property at the last minute to protect Camilla's security when she is in her summer retreat is promoted as a security imperative, and how King Charles is painted as a hero, right? Well, yes, that was the tone of the article indeed. Now let's go to the second picture, the picture that talks about William and Catherine moving. The article published today, August 2025, about the Wales needing the cottage near them to be vacated. Here's how the Daily Mail presented the story. Two families have been asked to leave their homes so the Prince and Princess of Wales can live in an 8-bedroom mansion. Notice the venom and very spiteful slant the Daily Mail is using to report on the move? They write, the Mail on Sunday has learned that earlier this summer, two separate families who lived in cottages next to the country mansion were asked to vacate their properties. The cottages, converted from Forest Lodge stables, are understood to have been rented out by the Crown Estate, and the tenants are said to have been surprised at being asked to leave. Now pay attention to this part. It is understood that no eviction notices were served and the tenants have moved to similar or better housing elsewhere in the almost 5,000 acre, remember, I always forget how to pronounce that word, Great Park. And yet one well-connected source said they were told to move out. They were not expecting it. Those houses are very close to the lodge, so they're not going to want any Tom, Dick, or Harry living in those houses if there are going to be royals there. As Cannell points out, and I agree, see the very difference in coverage for a similar story and the insidious accusations directed at the Wales? But this is on point. Yeah, there's a complete different angle to both of them. At no point in the entire article about William and Catherine is the word security used. The future king of the United Kingdom is moving with his family permanently into a new Crown Estate property. Of course, tenants within a certain security radius have to leave and were lodged elsewhere on Windsor. It is imperative for the heir that the quarters near his home were clear from staff and his 24/7 security. This is common practice. And yet, note how Prince William's security is never mentioned. This, my dears, says Cannell, is how the invisible contract works for those who abide by it and for those who do not. It is okay for King Charles to demand the home next to Camilla be vacated for her security, but when homes near Prince William are vacated for his security, it is an outrage. It was okay, and this was another very good piece from Cannell. Make sure that you follow her and look for that piece of Camilla on that yacht. It was okay from Queen Camilla to holiday in Greece on a Saudi super yacht, but when William and his family enjoy a family holiday on a yacht in Greece, it is an outrage. The invisible contract is very visible, and so is the acrid jealousy. A pity for them all, Prince William continues ahead unbothered by the useless dogs barking along his way. And yes, I began to notice this trend in both of these articles, and I'm sure that there are more articles. But the thing is, the trick is to have similar stories like holiday on a yacht or moving to a state in which you can see the actual comparison between the two coverages. Now, some people were thinking that this might be out of the work of Harry, but Cannell says, this is not from Harry, my dear. Harry has no access or knowledge of Crown property assets. The only way for Harry to know is for Buckingham Palace to leak it. Only the king who has to give his approval as king when royals need to move into Crown properties, and his staff, this is important, at Buckingham Palace would have had knowledge of William's application and for which property. This leak is coming straight from Buckingham Palace. Harry has nothing to do with this. Then Katerina Brozovic says, I suspect the Buckingham Palace's media man who met with Harry's people is behind stories and gaffes that are being made of late, from stuffing up the Princess Royal's birthday greeting to other blips and typos. Charles and William and their wives have no beef and are working in tandem. And Cannell says that Tobin is definitely an issue. King Charles' failure to recognize the issue on his midst when so many leaks have happened from Buckingham Palace is why some of us are fed up. Buckingham Palace has been feeding stories against William. As long as King Charles continued to do nothing to correct it, he is complicit. Again, it is more than obvious that the comparisons are there and the difference in reporting is there. But I really would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.